Hey, today I want to talk about 10 frustrations that English learners, including you, experience on a regular basis. Are you ready? Well then, let's jump right in. The very first frustration deals with vocabulary. Now, you feel overwhelmed because there are still so many words and expressions that you need to learn. Here's the truth. You do need to learn lots of words and expressions in order to speak English fluently. But you don't need to learn every word, nor do you need to learn every expression. Instead, you need to focus on using what you know, putting into practice, applying the words and expressions to your real life. When you start focusing on using the words and expressions, this frustration will go away. Why? Because you'll suddenly start feeling confident in your ability to express yourself, to talk about a situation using what you know. Once you focus on the words you know, the expressions you know, you won't worry about the things you don't know. So that when the things you don't know come up, you'll learn them and you won't feel frustrated. You'll just feel, wow, amazing. I have a new word to apply to my life. So instead of worrying about the words you don't know, focus on applying the words and expressions that you do know. This is how your English will go to the next level. Now, the second frustration is also a real frustration. It deals with sentences. You feel frustrated because you feel like your sentences are still basic. You know the feeling, right? When you're a beginner English learner, you learned the basic sentence structure. But now you're an intermediate English learner and you still feel like your sentences are following the basic sentence structure. This is very frustrating. And I know I've spoken to so many students experiencing this frustration, having this frustration right now along their English journey. But let me tell you this, instead of being frustrated, all you need to do is find a simple method for expanding your English sentences. I have so many lessons where I explain how you can use the 5 W's method to expand your sentences. Who, what, when, where, and why. Following this simple method, you can start expanding your sentences and no longer will you be frustrated. So instead of being frustrated, getting upset because you don't think your sentences can get longer, use the simple methods that I'm teaching you and use those methods to expand your sentences and you won't be frustrated anymore. Listen. I've used these methods with thousands upon thousands of students, and I've watched them suddenly realize, oh my goodness, Tiffani, I can expand my sentences. And they get the confidence they need to speak English fluently. And you can experience the same thing. Now, the third frustration is something that many English learners also experience, and it deals with speaking. You are not able to speak for longer than 30 to 60 seconds in English without pausing or feeling stuck. I remember when I was in Korea, I'd have to interview students to see if they could go to the next level. And the students spoke quite well, but I would ask them a question and sometimes they would listen to the question, pause, and they'd start to answer. But then after about 20 seconds, they would stop, look around and say, I'm done, teacher. And at that moment, I would realize, they haven't learned the tips and the skills they need to speak English for a longer period of time. They haven't learned how to speak English fluently just yet. They're understanding, good. They're able to answer questions at the beginner or intermediate level, but they're not an advanced English speaker just yet. So for you, not being able to speak for longer than 30 to 60 seconds, all you need to do, you have to learn the tips that will help you speak English fluently. I mentioned in order for you to overcome the previous frustration, you need to use the 5 W's method. Well, in order for you to speak for a longer period of time, you have to follow the tips I've been giving you. Give 3 details, 3 reasons, 3 examples, talk about your personal experience. So there are ways to overcome these frustrations. You can speak English fluently like a native English speaker. All you have to do, though, is learn the tips and skills that native English speakers use in order to speak English fluently. That literally is all it is. You are intelligent, you're smart, you're learning another language, so your brain, no problem with your brain at all. You simply need to learn what native English speakers learn and follow the patterns that we use when we speak in English. So, you want to improve your speaking? Follow the patterns used by native English speakers. 3 details, 3 examples, 3 reasons, and talking about your personal experiences. Now, the 4th frustration is another one that maybe you have experienced or maybe you're experiencing right now. It deals with pronunciation. Now, you still struggle with certain aspects of your English pronunciation. Listen, English is a tricky language, and pronouncing certain sounds might be more difficult for you because of your native language. For example, if your native language is French, there might be some sounds in English that are a little trickier for you to pronounce properly. If your native language is Korean, you may struggle with the F sound or the TH sound, th, putting your tongue through your teeth. So sometimes there are certain aspects of English pronunciation that really frustrate you. Let me tell you this. In order for you to improve your pronunciation and overcome this frustration, you simply need to listen to more native English speakers as they speak English. You heard me right. Your brain is amazing. Just like when you were a baby, you listened to your parents, you listened to your siblings, you listened to people around you, and you started to pronounce words based on what you heard. So the more you listen to native English speakers, the more you observe the way they speak, watching their mouth and looking at how their tongue is positioned, the better and, the more your pronunciation will improve. I'm going to leave that in there. So the more you watch native English speakers, the more your pronunciation will improve. So you have to watch native English speakers. You have to listen to real English conversations, and then your pronunciation will improve just by mimicking them and copying them. And you will eventually speak English with more fluency. Now, this 5th frustration deals with comprehension. You feel discouraged when you watch movies or dramas and you don't understand simple words or scenes. This happens all the time. I have students and their English is really good, but they'll watch an American movie or they'll watch an American TV show or a sitcom and they'll say, Tiffani, I don't understand what they're saying. I don't think the words they're using are difficult, but why can't I understand what they're saying, Tiff? I don't comprehend what they're saying, and the students get frustrated. You see, as you're progressing from an intermediate English learner to an advanced English learner, you want to speak English fluently. You want to sound like a native English speaker, right? Well, in order to sound like a native English speaker, once again, you have to pay attention to the way native English speakers speak. That's not done with the book. That's not done with a book you can buy from the store. No, you actually have to watch more conversations. The more you observe, the better your comprehension will get. You'll understand more about what's going on. You'll watch body language and you'll stop being so frustrated because you are actually focusing on the right things. You're understanding how native English speakers actually speak and you're learning what they use in real life. Now, let me explain something to you. What's happening right now is I'm teaching you how to get over these frustrations and finally sound like a native English speaker. But before I continue with the next one, I want to explain something. I want to help you sound like me. I want you to speak English fluently like a native English speaker. So if that is your goal, if you want to follow my simple plan, I have a simple 5-step plan that will help you sound like a native English speaker. All you have to do is go to englishfluencyplan.com. Simple 5 steps. These 5 steps will help you start sounding like me. You'll comprehend what native English speakers are saying. You'll be able to improve your vocabulary. There will be so many things that will improve and help you speak English like a native English speaker by following this plan. Go to www.englishfluencyplan.com or hit the link in the description. Now let's go back to the 6th frustration. This deals with thinking. Now, you still have a hard time organizing your thoughts in English. You have a tendency to think in your own language. This happens, and I know it's frustrating. You're probably looking at the screen right now saying, yes, Tiffani, this happens all the time. Well, the only reason this happens is because you have not given yourself the tools your brain needs to start thinking in English. You need to organize. You have thoughts already in your mind, but they're in your native language. Now you need to change those thoughts to English thoughts. And the only way that can happen is when you're thinking about a certain topic, you have different compartments. You have the 5 W's compartment, the details compartment, the reasons, the experiences, the examples. You have to organize these things in your brain based on a topic. Again, this is how native English speakers think. We literally have compartments in our brain for each topic. I can tell you a story about food. I can tell you details, reasons, examples related to any topic you bring to me because I've practiced this so long. And you can do the same thing. So instead of being frustrated about how to think in English, all you have to do is learn how to put these compartments in your brain about any topic. These are the things I want to help you with. I want you to speak English fluently. Now, challenge number 7, this frustration, comprehension versus speaking. You can understand me, others better, but you still don't know how to speak better English. You can understand better, but you're not able to express yourself. You're not able to speak in the way that the people are speaking that you're listening to. This comes with practice, and it goes back to frustration number 6, thinking in English. I'm glad you're comprehending, but now you want to express yourself. You simply need to learn how to take your thoughts and bring them out. Following a simple plan, following a simple step-by-step guide that helps you organize your thoughts in the way that native English speakers organize our thoughts, and then causing those thoughts to come out in the same way that we actually express ourselves. Experiences, details, reasons, personal opinions. These are different pillars of English fluency. And once you understand them, you'll no longer be frustrated because you'll understand and you'll also speak well. No longer being frustrated. Frustration number 8 deals with memorizing. Now, you don't want to memorize words every day, but you still want to learn more important or some important and natural English words. This is true. You have to learn new words. You have to learn new expressions, but there's going to come a time, which is right now, you can no longer just memorize words. You have to learn them in real situations, from real conversations between native English speakers, because this is how little children learn. They don't have books. They can't read yet, but they learn by observing what people are saying, observing body language. Oh, when I'm happy, I use this word. When I'm sad, I use this word. You have to learn the exact same way in order for you to speak English fluently and stop being frustrated. Don't worry about the books. You have to learn new words and expressions, but learn them from real conversations. This is all a part of the 5 steps I use for my students, the EnglishFluencyPlan.com, where I teach students how to observe real conversations between native English speakers. Hear the words that are used and the expressions that are used, and then start using them in real life. Practice using them and then start using them. This is how you learn at your level right now. Stop memorizing. The frustration that comes from just sitting down and memorizing over and over and over again without using the words or expressions, that frustration is real. And I felt the same frustration when I was studying Korean until I developed this 5-step plan for fluency that helped me start speaking Korean fluently by observing real conversations between native speakers. Now, this next frustration is also one that I'm sure you've experienced before. Study time. You feel like quitting because you have been studying English for so long. Maybe you've been studying English for years or decades, and you just feel like you're not getting to the next level. You feel like you've hit this ceiling, right? Well, I'll be honest with you. You have. Again, I experienced the same thing. I hit a ceiling when I was studying Korean. I couldn't seem to go above the ceiling until I started following and developing this 5-step fluency plan. You see, I realized in order for me to go to the next level, again, I couldn't study the same way I had been studying. You can't study the same way you've been studying in order to get to the next step. In order to get to the next level, you have to study in a different way. This studying requires you to observe real conversations between native English speakers. So no longer will you be frustrated and want to quit because every time you start studying, you'll be interested in the conversation topic. You'll learn new words and expressions naturally. You'll understand how to express yourself like a native English speaker. So this frustration will go away because instead of feeling like you're sitting there studying and it's boring, there'll be an excitement. Again, I experienced the same thing when I started studying Korean in this way. So this frustration will go away. Now, this last frustration. Number 10, study partner. You don't have anyone else around you to practice what you are learning. That is frustrating. It really is. Trust me, I know. I'm here in America and there aren't too many Koreans around me, so I can't practice as often as I'd like to. And because I'm in this situation, I realize that you, as an English learner, are probably in the exact same situation. Well, in order for you to improve, you have to study with someone. But that doesn't mean that person has to physically be in your country. You see, the beauty of online lets you study with other individuals around the world. So this is what I developed. I realized that I wanted you to really speak English fluently, but you needed a partner. So this plan that I have put together, this 5-step plan, also includes study partners. There are people from all around the world. I have students that have followed this plan and no longer are they frustrated. Why? Because every week they're able to practice with students from around the world and improve their English. One guy, he's been with me and he's followed this 5-step plan. Now he is able, and I'm not even kidding you, he is able to speak for an hour by himself in English with minimal mistakes and with confidence. Because he followed this 5-step plan, he's confident in his abilities. He's able to express himself, so much so that he shocked himself. This is a real situation. I was so proud of him. I watched him. We had a class together and something happened to where my camera went off and it was just him on the screen. And for almost an hour, he spoke in English, encouraging and inspiring other English students. Now, my camera never came back on, so all I could do was watch him. He's been with me for, how long? 2.5 years? And to see his growth made me smile like I was a mother. I was so proud of him. And I want you to experience the same thing because he's no longer frustrated at all. He has people to study with. He has people to practice with. And his English, oh my goodness. Now he does business with other native English speakers. Now his business is growing because his English has improved. And I want you to experience the same thing. So instead of being frustrated, all you have to do is follow a simple 5-step plan that will take you to English fluency and remove all of these frustrations. So again, I hope this lesson helped you. Understand that these frustrations are real, but you don't have to experience them anymore. If you're tired of experiencing these frustrations, I would love for you to join our family. All you have to do is go to www.englishfluencyplan.com. I created a 5-step plan that includes everything I spoke about in this lesson. Watching real English conversations between native English speakers, learning expressions and words naturally, practicing with partners, and so much more. So join us. Go to www.englishfluencyplan.com. We'll be excited to see you there. You still there? Now look, normally at this time, I tell you a story. But today, instead of a story time, I actually want to read something to you. It's something that's very touching, something that really touched my heart. So I guess it is a little bit of a story time. So I'll give you the song, Story Time. Hey, I said it's story time. So just very quickly, when I started this YouTube channel, I literally asked God what he wanted me to do in my life. You all know that I'm a Christian and that I love God, and I literally enjoy and am passionate about being your teacher because of my love for God. I was put on this earth to serve. I am here to serve you, literally, and I want you to accomplish all of your goals and achieve all of your goals. But I asked God, I said, God, how is English, being an English teacher, going to really help people around the world? And now, fast forward to today. Yesterday, I received a message from one of my students, and she's actually a part of our family at EnglishFluencyPlan.com. And I want to read you this message because, again, when I prayed to God asking him what he wanted me to do, I was going to either be an art professor or teach English. And God said, Tiff, I want you to teach English online. And here we are today. So this student, again, she's a part of our program, our family. She sent me a message. I'll just say her name is CM. It was a private message. She said, hey, Tiffany, I just wanted to tell you something. I'm going to fast forward down, skip down to the part that's not about her personal life. She said, a few weeks ago, I started a new job as an English teacher. She said, I know it's the first step and I need to continue studying hard, but now I believe that I can do it. She's no longer frustrated. She said, Tiffany, you need to know how your work is important to our progress. I'm literally reading her message. And again, it brought tears to my eyes when I read it yesterday. Your methodology, your plan is great. The way you allow God to use you and the way God uses your life to change others' lives is awesome. You're more than a teacher, Tiffany. You motivate us all the time and you believe in us when we don't believe in ourselves. I consider that God links people for a purpose. I pray that God continues to use your life to bless more lives around the world. She said, Romans 8:28 says, and we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them that are called according to his purpose. Thank you so much, Tiffany. I need you to understand how much this message meant to me, because I literally am only teaching English because I want you to achieve your goals. I want you to experience the confidence that now she does. The confidence she has a job now as an English teacher because of her studying with me in this program. And my goal is just to help you achieve your goals as well. So CM, you know who you are. Thank you so much for the message. And to you watching this lesson right now, I honestly hope that you achieve your English goals. Even if you don't choose to study with me, that's okay. You can continue studying with me here on YouTube. But I need you to understand that you mean a lot to me. My entire purpose, my reason for living is to serve other people. And this is the venue. This is the way God has chosen to use me to help individuals like you around the world learn how to speak English. English can truly change your life, and I hope it changes your life as well. Thanks again for giving me the opportunity and the honor of being your English teacher. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you in the next lesson.